new.
Okay.
So
How's the range on that thing?
it's pretty good.
In charge of all.
That's why it's back here.
Oh, that's why it's over here.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on live streaming and recording. All right, I'm gonna record this. Whenever you are ready, Wayne.
Up there 2 months.
All right, folks, we're going through a new microphone process here. So we have one in the middle, so you're not going to really hear stuff over the speakers. We're going to start the meeting. I want to welcome everybody to the Monday, September 19th, 2022 City of Kingston Planning Board meeting. We're going to begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes. Do I have to announce that?
Yes.
And our meeting is being live streamed and recorded at this time. Okay. Before we get into introductions, a few housekeeping issues. Exits are to both sides of the council chambers. If we have an emergency where we got to exit, we're just going to use the stairs and exit through the bottom. No, we're not going to use the elevator. Bathrooms are over here to my right. And if there's a need to have a conversation, we have conference rooms on either side of the council chamber, so you can take those to those rooms, please. And I'm asking folks to silence their cell phones at this time. Yeah. Introductions. My name is Wayne Platt. I'm the chairman. We also have Charles Palaco, Vince Archer, and Sage Newkirk. And Suzanne Cahill is the planning director. The assistant planner is Kyla D-Day. And we have Matthew Jankowski. He's the assistant corporation counsel for the city of Kingston. Item number 1 on the agenda is the adoption of the July 18th, 2022 planning board meeting transcripts and minutes. Everybody's had an opportunity to take a look at them. Any questions, deletions, or additions? Okay, seeing none, I will make a motion that we adopt them. Do I have a second? Second by
You need to recuse. You were not present.
I wasn't present.
Sage Newkirk with a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Yeah. Item number 2, we're in public hearings now. Item number 2 is 237 East Union Street and 43 Gill Street. It's a lot line revision of the lands of Kingston City Land Bank Incorporated and Kingston Residential Property Holdings LLC. Section block and lot is 56.36-3-12 and 56.36-3-10. Kingston City Land Bank Incorporated and Kingston Residential Property Holdings LLC are the applicants and owners. Howdy.
Howdy. Good evening.
State your name for the record, please.
Of course. My name is Mike Gilliard. I'm the executive director of the Kingston City Land Bank.
Okay. All right, we have a overhead here. We're calling it an overhead, even though it's not an overhead anymore. All right. All right, so tell us what's going on here.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you. So 237 East Union is one of 4 properties that we're seeking to develop under the state's new Legacy Cities Access Program. This was originally intended for land banks throughout New York State to access funds from the state and private bank financing to provide affordable homeownership, rehab. So this will be the first closing in the state of New York. We hope to close on the 28th of September. It's not necessary for this to go through for that to take place, but I did want to set the stage for what the project is. This property here at 237 East Union, we acquired last year from the city of Kingston and conducted a property survey upon which we noticed that there is a significant encroachment pre-existing, and we believe the highest and best use for the property is to give that to the contiguous property owner at no fee and sort of move on with our work.
Okay. And you had more verbiage than what we have in our packet, so that's good. So it looks like it's in order, right? Staff is indicating that it's in order here. So this meets all of the zoning requirements, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody from the board have any questions on this? Okay, you do?
What are you planning on doing with it?
With the property at 237 East Street. So construction will start next month. That'll be renovated as an affordable homeownership property.
And you got the house behind the Gill Street, they're both gonna be the same thing, or
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
is it? Don't you have on Gill Street, you have the one property?
We
Which
do
was
have a
the
property
store?
not contiguous to this. It's 69 Gill. We have a property. This is 43 Gill. The contiguous property.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
excuse me.
I get confused too.
Good, okay. Under seeker, this is a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 2 with board policy 6. That's it, right?
Submission of the descriptions and the appropriate number of copies.
And written descriptions need to be submitted and the appropriate number of copies, including a Mylar of everything. Yeah, okay. You already had consultation about that, yes. So, all right, so that is a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Vince Archer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item number 3 is 396 Broadway and 18 East O'Reilly Street. Lot line revision of the lands of the Health Alliance Hospital Broadway campus, in parentheses, formerly the Kingston Hospital, and the Kingston Hospital Incorporated. Section block and lot is 56.26-6-32.110 and 56.26-6-48.100. Seeker determination, zone C3, Ward 5, Health Alliance Hospital Broadway campus, and the Kingston Hospital Incorporated are the applicant's owners. What I should have mentioned on the previous one, is there anybody besides the applicant or owner wishing to speak on item number 3? Yeah. Usually follow through with that preamble. So, all right, Chris.
Good, Wayne, how are you?
Good. Chris Ellis here. All right.
Chris, the sketch is up on the,
Okay.
if that's helpful.
This is a fairly simple lot line deletion. Eliminate this diagonal line. Comes down through here. The hospital is going to sell this parcel, which is all building, they propose to sell. They want to hold on to the parking, so they want to delete that lot line right there. This will be sold to what's going to be called Kingston Jam Storage, which is going to be used just for storage. The 6, where it says note 3, the 6 parking spaces right here will remain with the building. And there will also be easements for access to the transformer, the doors, that's all going to be taken care of in easements. The same way Central Hudson has it right now, retained easements across the parking lot to the back of their building.
Is that about where the railroad went through there? That line?
That is exactly where the railroad went through.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they will have parking up here, and they'll have these 6 spaces reserved for themselves, and they will be given access to the doors that are here and here, and access to the transformer for repair and maintenance. And then the rest of the parking will go back to the hospital.
So with the parking, you're going to provide us with an easement agreement, and the maintenance will be done by the current property owner or the leasee?
No, maintenance on the parking lot will be done by the hospital.
Okay, thank you.
There is language already for the 6 parking spaces, because that was between the 2 owning entities. The new right away will be through here, but that will be a new one that's written up, as well as access to the pillars and transformers for maintenance. That will be new. I will get you a copy of that. Other than that, nothing else changes.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay. Under seeker, this is also a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required on this. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 3, with board policy 6, the written descriptions to be submitted. The appropriate number of copies, including the Mylar, will need to be submitted, and the descriptions will also include the easements and everything else.
Cross easement agreements and the parking agreement,
Okay.
correct?
So those will all be part of that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Chuck Palaco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, sir.
Not much. Have a good evening.
All right. All right, item number 4, 24-26 Hunter Street and 33-35 West Union. Is this all, we're gonna group these together?
No, you take them one at a time.
Okay. Hi there.
You can mention that they're here for both. We're
Okay.
going to do them one at a time
All
because
right.
they're separate.
And this is a lot line deletion of the lands of Union Church Hill LLC. Section block and lot is 56.43-3-9 and 56.43-3-10. Seeker determination, zone RT, Ronda Historic District, Heritage Area, Ward 8, Union Hill LLC is the applicant owner. Folks, we're also, after we get done with this, we're going to also move on to item number 5. I'll talk about that after this, but these are the same folks for that as well. So is there anybody in the audience besides the applicant or owner wishing to speak on item number 4? Okay. Welcome.
Hello, good evening.
State your name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Joseph Minuta. I'm the architect of record. Minuta Architecture PLC, New Windsor, New York, 12553. I
Okay.
have with me this evening the project owner, which is Alexander Alleghenian, and we are here to present this project.
Okay.
We've been before you. We referred to zoning. We did receive some zoning variances. And this, for this particular lot, was a 1-inch zoning variance that they had provided. But we also had a lot of good takings away from that process. And what we ended up doing is we still have the same 5 lots, but we've reconfigured them a lot differently. We've done it in such a way that you're not going to get any zoning variances, to the best of our knowledge. And what we're doing here is providing lots 9 and 10 with parking on either side, either street, double stacked, with open green space area in the center. And these, it's already one parking lot now, it's just gravel, the whole thing. And so these would serve for the 3 properties across the street.
Okay.
So just so the board members are clear, that is 2 separate parcels right now. And there's a center line that is to be deleted, okay? This is not an official subdivision map, which we will require, done by a licensed land surveyor with the meets and bounds, and the lot line deletion to be deleted will have to be noted on the final plat. And we'll get, you also need written description of the resultant parcel. And that, I believe, is something that we can handle at staff level to come through for signature. This is pretty cut and dry combination of lots.
So staff is happy with how it's presented, just awaiting the.
Yeah,
the
This one's
survey.
very simple.
Okay. Any questions from the board on?
The one thing I would suggest is that on the survey to delete, the improvements that are being proposed will be not included. You don't include them on the survey because that ultimately is just a plat map that gets filed with the county, so that the improvements should not be on there.
So
Okay.
meets and bounds, the drawing.
Meets and bounds
written description.
existing, and then just a note on there that the removal of the center line.
Understood.
We'll get you the list.
Thank you.
Any questions for this? No? Okay. Under seeker, also a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 4 with board policy 6. The appropriate number of copies, including the Mylar, to be submitted, and also the written descriptions will need to be submitted, and anything else on there, so that the cross easements, everything will be something later on.
That will be
next
with
time.
the other, but,
Yeah.
and the improvements removed. The final map will go over by staff.
Okay. All right, so that is a motion. Do I have a second? Sage Newkirk with a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Okay. Moving on to item number 5, 24 West Union Street, 25-27 of Beale Street, and 38-40 West Union Street. Now we have, is this a lot line revision or is this a site?
This is the lot line revision.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
There is no site plan tonight.
okay. This is a lot line revision of the lands of Union Church Hill LLC. Section block and lot is 56.43-3-24, 25, and 26. Secret determination, zone RT, Roundup Historic District, Heritage Area, Ward 8, Union Church Hill LLC is the applicant owner. Let the record show that the same folks are here for this item as well. Describe something else now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Again, Joseph Menuda Architecture. I'm here with Alexander Allegheny, who's the owner of the properties. So, with respect to the existing religious building that's there, we received the requisite variances for height and so forth about the building. So, what we want to do is clean up the lots themselves, 1, 2, and 3, so that they met the minimum requirements. And so that's why we're here today, is to be able to do that. The overarching project is simply to, by right, by use, residential. This would be 3 units within the religious building, 3 units on this lot, and 3 units on that lot. We have some parking here, and that would all be shared across the street. So
Okay.
that's the plan.
Are the same things included on this one? This is not an official one here either, so. this
No,
applies
no,
there.
this is the same situation, but this was a little bit more in depth because there are several cross easement agreements that will need to be provided and reviewed by Corporation Council.
Okay.
Okay, and what is your timetable for submitting for the actual site plan? For both parcels? We're only dealing with subdivisions tonight.
Right, so these were our submissions for that. We have the records of buildings and the dimensions and the setbacks and so forth. So our intent was.
We didn't list them as site plan.
No,
We can come back to the remainder.
yeah, because we don't have. So you're proposing the same site plan that you proposed on the previous lot line?
So,
We have these listed as lot line changes for
For this
tonight's
evening.
meeting.
you do, but we also proposed as lot line change and for site plan.
Okay,
So I thought we'd take care of it all tonight, but now that I see the agenda,
Okay.
it's just lot line for this evening.
Okay, well, we didn't advertise them as such. But, we thought they were just on for subdivision, lot line deletion revision tonight.
Sure, you will see that the bulk tables were included in that for the development of each
Mhm.
lot, so, yes.
Okay,
And we do locate architectural site landscape.
so back to the other, so the lot across the street, are you still proposing construction on that? Or is that only going to be parking and open space now?
that's only
There are
parking.
no buildings to be proposed
Okay.
across the street, this is strictly parking, open space, obviously,
So
will
we
be
don't-
construction for For pavement and curbing.
Do we allow?
It's
parking?
site plan for a parking lot.
Right, so parking as a primary use.
Is that approved? Has that been approved now?
Now, did you apply for the variance for parking as the primary use across the street for the RT zone?
We were not advised of that. It's already parking. It's already used as parking.
Okay,
It's continuing to the same use.
we'll need to clarify that with Eric.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just going to be here tonight to talk about the lot line deletions and revisions. Okay, we haven't advertised for the site plan.
Okay,
Okay. I don't know if the communication got mixed up or whatever, but and if it was, then I apologize for that. But we're not going to be able to take care of site plan at tonight's meeting.
wasn't
Okay.
advertised, I understand the
Okay,
regulations behind
okay.
that.
All right, so with respect to this, anybody on the board have any questions for this parcel, these parcels? Okay. Under seeker, this is also a type two,
Table this one.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna table,
Right, we're waiting for the final site plan. That's what we talked about today.
no, but we're just handling the lot line revision.
Right, but we want to see the final site plan and all the cross-easement agreements first.
So we need to table it. Okay, so this,
So
Right.
Okay.
we're gonna need revisions on because the original application was for commercial space and residential. So there's some
Okay,
changes
right.
that's why I wasn't under the impression that this was.
Okay, Kyla just mentioned also, we'll have to sit down with you because the original application had for the church a mixed-use building, but now you're proposing only 3 residential units in that building, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so we're gonna have to adjust that site application.
I just want to make sure, did everybody receive the narrative we sent?
Yeah, we
This
have
is prior to the
everything,
Entire project, and this is for site plan.
right, but
Was
with,
the reason, pardon me, my mind.
no, go ahead.
The reason we're here and the reason for these lot line changes, sure, we can bring the lots into conformance, but bringing them into conformance without site planning is kind of phenomenal. So yeah, we had intended for site plan review tonight, but
Okay,
I'm not sure where the mix-up is.
Yeah, and if there was, what I mean,
Understood.
I apologize for that. So because there's been a change in the components of the site plan that you're proposed, there's not going to be a commercial aspect of it now?
That is correct.
Okay,
We can't afford the parking.
that's fine. So that itself is going to have to, like Sue said, is going to have to trigger them, you guys meeting and to go over that change, okay? And we haven't received any notes or anything on the site plan like you just showed there. Our notes that are submitted for our purposes did not include that, just included the lot line revisions.
I do understand.
Okay, so in the meantime, we can take care of that. I know it seems like it's being dragged on a little bit, and I apologize for that too, but we can meet at next month's meeting, and we'll hopefully get this all straightened out by then. And again, I apologize for any inconvenience for you and your client.
I apologize, it's our mess up,
Okay,
staff.
yeah. All right, so because we're going to attach this with what the site plan that's going to be proposed for this, we're going to table this right now, the lot line revision for this particular side of the street, okay? And that can be taken care of at next month's meeting and go into the site plan at the same time.
Understood. So we'll be taking care of both site planning and.
Yes, and they're also, as Sue mentioned, we're going to look at, we're going to talk to zoning enforcement officer about the existing parking lot
area.
across the street.
Right.
Just to clarify and to ensure that primary use has always been, which it probably has been, a parking lot. So we just have to clarify that, okay? That's all. So, having said that, at this time, I'm going to make a motion to table item number 5. Do I have a second on that? Second by Chuck Palaco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank
Look
you all
forward to
very
seeing you
much.
next month, okay? Thank you.
If there's anything in the meantime, please don't hesitate to call us
Yeah.
if you have any questions, so that.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
They have to go back to heritage and landmarks. Right? We never finished any of that stuff.
No, it has to go back to heritage and landmarks too.
They're completely
All
different.
All right, item number 6 is 38-50 Thomas Street. It's a special permit renewal for emergency shelter use. Section block and lot is 56.25-4-44, secret determination, zone 03, Ward 5, family of Woodstock is the applicant owner. Is somebody here from-
I did talk to Michael. He had another meeting. He was going to be here later. If you want to take it up now and we'll let him know, or you can, if you have questions, he'll be here at around 7.
Yeah, I mean, historically with this property, I mean, Michael has been here and there have been no issues with this, right? And that is the case at this time, right? Police reports look good. Incident, there's nothing jumping out of this that would preclude them from.
Straightforward standard.
Okay. Does everybody feel comfortable taking up this matter without the applicant being present? Okay. And are we governed? I probably should know
Yes,
this.
1 year.
1 year, okay. Yes, was my question. All right. All right, so the length of the term is governed by zoning law at one year maximum, okay? Everybody's good with having 1 year on that again? Nothing less? All right. Any questions from the board? All right. Under seeker, it's a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required at this time. This time I'll make a motion that we approve item number 6 for a period of 1 year with all original conditions carried forward. Do I have a second? Second by Vince Archer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Okay, item number 7 is 105-107 Henry Street, special permit renewal for a multidisciplinary art center with gallery space, exhibition and educational space, and administrative offices. Section block and lot is 56.108-4-27, seeker determination, zone R2, Ward 4. Alan Baer is the architect and the applicant. Transart is the owner. Is there anybody besides Mr. Baer who would want to comment on this particular property? Okay. Welcome, Alan. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's going on there? Right? Big stuff or?
Well, we're setting our sights on finishing pretty soon.
Okay.
We were hoping for right now. We had a few blips in the road, particularly the elevator, but it's back on track. It is finished except for 3 more days of work, but it's moving up and down, and that's a good sign. So, yeah, the past year plus, do you want me to go down the list or?
I have some photos
Yes,
up too.
yeah, if you
that
want to
just
just
so
go
if you wanna-
through those and just kind of describe them, Alan?
Yeah, this is standing on the north edge of the property, looking south. And it's across the newly installed brick pavers, which is going to serve as not only a parking area, handicapped accessibility for parking entry. It helps you enter the ramp, which is beyond, but before the house. And eventually this will be kind of an outdoor room and then space. So, and then behind the house keeps taking on requirements, particularly in the next slide, we're going to see the cantilevered in 2 directions. Rear roof, actually right now, just in the past couple of weeks, the brackets are now on. So this is essentially, well, we hate to call it the rear door, but probably it will be used maybe even more than the front door. But it is the ADA route in. And the next slide would be recently completed ramp. We still have to connect up the street, and that's one of the things we have to take care of before the opening happens. So these are interior gallery spaces in the next 2 slides.
It's pretty amazing.
My God.
They've done some great work.
Oops.
We're sideways.
So,
There we go.
oh, thank you. This is a small kitchenette, which, you know, will be used by staff and for catering purposes and special events. Whoops.
Now we're, of course I have to.
And this is the president's office, specifically Rear Smith's office on the second floor.
Well, it's gonna happen now.
And this is also on the second floor. Very hard to photograph. This is the coffee room. And this is a small staff office. There are 2 of them, and they're almost identical. And back to the rotate, clockwise. This is the stair to the attic archive. And this is what the finished space in the attic archive is shaping up to be. Essentially, you know, a reading area.
What is the attic space going to be used for?
It's really just an archive. Library.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're restricted to just a couple of people because of access. But the elevator goes.
Right, the elevator will go up there.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's all. Is that all?
Yeah, I think that was it. Oh, within the, well, the site plan is, there's nothing to.
So I got to say that you and Greer were involved in this thing right from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And Chuck and I are the only 2 members of the planning board here tonight that were involved from the beginning with this.
Right.
And I know that there was some, and I might be repeating myself from previous approvals, but, you know, back when we would meet every 3 months or 6 months, however long the approval was given for, I know there was some frustration, I think, on both sides. You know, I know Greer was frustrated with our, you know, we wanted to see some progress to keep the process going. And, you know, and I'm just telling you what you already know, that it reached a point where we had to take a pause, right? And it's not that we didn't see the vision or you know, want to join in with that vision that you and Greer had for this place. It's just, and I think you understand why we had to take a pause on, and I told Greer back then that please come back when you have all your funding in place and, you know, everything gets lined up, and we'd be happy to take this up again, which we've done. And to see the almost end result now as compared to, you know, the school bus that was parked on the property back in the day. You remember those, you know, then it was, you remember, Chuck, the whole thing, you know?
Oh,
You were actively involved there. You were
I was
there.
up there a lot.
Yeah, so I just, you know, for the record, I want to just to show the appreciation of the board, how far this project has come, how much involvement and, you know, blood, sweat, and tears for this place that you and Greer have given, and the end product is just around the corner. So I'm proud of what you guys have done there, you know, and
We appreciate your
yeah, I
comments.
can't say enough good things about it. So I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
and-
Can't wait for you all to come through.
Yeah, so, but I wanted to let you know how I felt. And I think I give you my sentiments every time I see you here, you know, as I see the progress go on. But This is amazing, and hats off to you guys for that.
Thank you.
So, do you have anything else to add tonight for this?
No, not really.
Okay.
We will finish this project.
All right.
We're almost there.
I will say that we did reach out to the building department,
Yes.
and they also expressed they're very satisfied with the work as it's progressing, and they gave you high comments.
Great. Yeah. No, I appreciate all of you working with us and just kind of hanging in there and knowing that eventually, yes, we would reach this point and finish it off.
Right.
Thank you. So, this is a nice segue into the renewal term. Staff has recommended, because of this, the significant progress that's being made on this project, they're recommending an 18-month, 2-year renewal, and I'm inclined to go with a 2-year on this. So, does anybody else on the board concur with that?
No, I've seen the difference 2 years.
Yeah. All right, so everybody seems to concur with a 2-year renewal on that. Anything else from staff?
Nope. No.
Okay. All right. Gather my thoughts here. Here we go. All right, so under seeker type 2 action, no further review of the board is required at this time. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 7 for a period of 2 years with all original conditions carried forward. Do I have a second on that? Second by Chuck Polacco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
I had to show Billy where the stairs were. He forgot to put the layout of the room.
Yeah.
All right. Item number 8, we are still under public hearings. It's 151-159 and 165 Abeal Street. It's a lot line deletion of the lands of SXS Abeal Enterprises LLC. Section block and lot is 56.50-5-20 and 56.50-5-21. Hey.
How you doing?
Good. Seeker determination, Ward 8, Zone RT, Round Out Historic District, Heritage Area. SXS Beale Street Enterprises LLC is the applicant owner. Are you part of the ownership of this?
I am not.
Okay, I thought Steinmeier might have been in that
No.
whole thing, so, all right.
Just representing
All right, state your name for the record, please.
John Steinmeier.
All right, so we're going to keep you here for the item 9 too. Okay, so this is just for the lot line deletion.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
This is,
So this is just a minor lot line deletion between these 2 adjacent lots, joining both lots together. So we can have the parking and the open space on the same lot, so that we eliminate the variance for open space requirements.
Okay. And just for folks' reference, this is just down the street, down the hill from Hone Street, right? And it comes down around, there's a city lot, you see it to the right of the, or I guess, right?
yeah, for parking. That's where there's off-street parking.
Yeah.
Into a picture. Yeah, real quick.
So this-
It's a lovely asphalt shingle.
What's that?
It's a lovely asphalt shingle
Yeah.
side of that.
Yeah. All right, so this is a modification of the original parking arrangement that was, okay, so go ahead and explain here what you got.
So this is.
Well, let's
the
finish,
existing three-family.
let's finish the lot line
Oh,
deletion,
yeah,
and then
I'm
we'll move to
jumping
the
ahead,
site
John.
plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. I see pictures here. Okay.
I know.
All right, so zoning wise, everything's good with. how
Right,
the
it's a
existing-
vacant parcel of land, and a parcel that has the existing structure that you just saw, that the residential building on it. So all the property owner is doing is to combine those two parcels under one entity. It allows him to provide a certain amount of off-street parking to support the residential use, and also will allow him to compensate for the required open space requirement. With that above, there's an elevated area up on top that's fairly well wooded, and that's going to remain in that state, but it's the open space.
Okay. All right, any questions from the board on this? Okay. Under seeker, type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. And anything else other than written descriptions, item 6?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking for a date on the map. Do we have a date on the map?
This version, it's July 5th, 2022.
July 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just had a question about the lot next to that house. I thought it was already paved and spaces are applied in
Well, there's this
The-
lot, and then
the
there's,
lot right next to it.
then there's a lot, and then there's a parking lot. Right?
Okay, so if you're facing
So-
the house,
Right.
there was I think the city.
It's There's a small, next to the house, there's a small gravel area that is used for the house right now. Then there's.
I can show you on-
It's like a
so-
garden area that this property has, and then
If you
beyond that
continue
is the
up.
lot for the city.
Yeah, so you gotta go up the street a little ways to get to that other lot.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah, I had to do the same thing when I was looking at it as well, and so I get it. All right, any other questions? All right. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 8 with board policy 6 to be applied, written descriptions,
The appropriate map.
the appropriate number of maps, and copies of the map, including the Mylar.
Mhm.
We don't have to mention this, right?
No.
That's right, just for your
No.
notes. Okay, and that is a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Sage Newkirk. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right, Mr. Steinmeier is here for item number 9. This is 151-159 and 165 of Beale Street. Special permit to establish 5 residential units in an existing building. Section block and lot is 56.50-5-20 and 56.50-5-21. Seeker determination, Ward 8, Zone RT, Rondout Historic District, Heritage Area, SXS, Beale Street Enterprises LLC is the applicant owner. Anybody beside Mr. Steinmeier wishing to speak on item number 9? Okay. There we go.
So we've got an existing two-story wood frame structure with 3 units in it. The proposal is to go to 5 units, expand the existing attic for a full height sprinkler building, fully sprinkler. So the third floor would be one entire unit that would be reserved for the owner's use. So we know 3 to 5 units.
So this one was slightly modified after the Historic Landmarks Commission meeting,
We did make some changes to
but I
the
think,
front elevation.
right,
Required or requested by Landmark. We added the second door in, and we put all the windows back in the front elevation
Right.
as they were.
So is this showing that the asphalt will be removed? Is that-
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, the siding is going to be a hardy board
okay.
siding. The Heritage Area Commission and the Landmarks Preservation Commission have reviewed this. As part of their review, you'll see the written notes there. They wanted the street level facade to be retained, in essence, the way it has been with the 2 doorways and adding the other window in. And then on the third or the upper level that's being established, they wanted that central window to be removed. To keep it symmetrical, basically on the street side. The other sides, they did not have an issue with. They reviewed the solar panels being added to the exterior. They reviewed it all, reviewed the new entryway decking that's going up along the side and in the rear. And they are fine with everything other than that. Mhm.
We don't need to see layouts of the interior, do we? We don't need to see that.
Of what?
The interior, we don't need
No,
to see all that.
no.
Okay.
This is going from 3 to 5 units, as John said. So this board needs to also discuss as part of your decision, the fee in lieu of parkland. And it's the recommendation that the full amount of 3,000 be assigned to the 5th unit. The first 4 are exempt by law.
Yeah, everybody's good with that?
We-
Yeah, I am too.
Let's talk about parking a little bit. If you
Yeah.
pull up that site plan. The
So I have-
applicant did go to the zoning board of appeals for 2 variances. They received variance for 3 off-street parking spaces and also for the height of the building. So with that, 8 parking spaces are required. The applicant has shown a couple different parking layouts, trying to utilize the existing curb cuts that are present along Abeal Street. Most of your board members know that Abeal Street was recently reconstructed. So all of the roadway, the sidewalks, the curbing is all very new. So we're not looking to disturb any of that configuration. It's all intact and in excellent condition. As I said, it requires 8 parking spaces, and this is the last option that was shown. It shows 7 parking spaces. The concern here is that in order to access all 7 spaces, there is a need to utilize a portion of the public right-of-way as a access driveway, so to speak, roadway. We'd prefer to go, can you show that other layout, which shows 5 parking spaces, which is what he is required to show without a waiver from this board. It makes much better use of the land as it exists.
A lot of things are-
You just skipped over, you just had
I
it
did.
there.
I
Nope.
can't see the top of my screen because of
Out there, right there. It shows 5 parking spaces, a little bit better utilization of the land, his property, without really what I feel is probably going to be detrimental to the Bluestone, because with the 7 spaces, the in and out movements are, you're going to have to cross over that Bluestone sidewalk. There's no question in my mind about that. And I'd rather see those, protected and preserved. So
This
my,
layout is going to do that?
this layout would be much better, yes.
And there's 1 curb cut here?
There's the existing 2 are being used.
So the one to the far right is a curb cut, right? On the
Correct.
Stairway, in
Mhm.
front of the stairway?
Yep,
And then there's going to be a new one
no,
proposed?
there's an existing one
There's
down
2,
below.
okay.
Mhm. They're pre-existing.
And the waiver we would be considering.
You wouldn't need to do a waiver
Because
because
it's got the
he,
3 from the zoning
has the-
board,
right,
this is
correct.
the 5, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And this works for your client?
Yes, it does.
Everybody's happy with that parking layout?
But the requirement is 8.
8, but he's got
But it's
3
a waiver.
waiver?
he has a variance for
Variance,
3.
variance from- So he's gonna have
That
5.
allows them to park somewhere else.
Mhm.
Well,
Along Beale Street, or we don't?
I don't know if there's parking allowed along that stretch.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, there's public parking up the hill that Vince, mentioned before.
How deep are the spots?
Yeah, they'll just make it.
Yeah. I just wondered if they were deep enough that if they lived together, if they were deep enough, you could fit two cars. You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah.
you live together, you can, if are they deep enough, you could fit two cars in there?
The line on the backside is basically a rock cut.
Okay.
So you're not gonna get any further in there without.
Yeah.
Major rock.
And is there gonna be, item 4, shale, and what are you using for the parking?
I would say it's most likely gonna be gravel.
Okay,
There's a lot of existing bedrock showing in the area, so in order to get a smooth surface and pave, we'd have to hammer out rock.
okay,
So
yeah. And that'll be one of our policies, right,
Mhm.
plowing?
Yeah.
All right.
5.
So there's no issue with stormwater on this, right?
No, because
It's all impervious.
it's, right. Mhm.
Impervious.
Yeah, pervious, it's pervious.
Yes, that's what I meant. Anything else? No lighting planned, right?
we'll probably have some motion detector lights on the exterior,
Okay.
for egress.
John, do you have an idea of how he intends to handle the refuse and recyclables? Are they going to be, is there going to be an area on site outside where they'll be kept, stored, the bins,
there's
or,
not a
and
lot.
it will be private hole, or do you know, or,
Yeah, I haven't had that discussion with the client.
Okay.
We can open that up. Oh,
okay, we'll need
Come up with an
confirmation
agreement
of how that's going to be done, but I think
Okay.
that could do staff.
We get a set of terms, so, usually the first go around with the term for a special permit is 1 year. So, I mean, that's typically what we've done here. Is the board comfortable with that? And then after that first year, things go good, we can certainly, go ahead with a longer term, so.
Okay.
Kyle, you want to talk to Mike?
Oh,
So we're gonna go to 1 year. We got the parkland fee,
yep,
all the board policies.
hang on, writing, lighting with standard residential.
Just going over some of these other policies here that, you're
Yep.
familiar with the Knox boxes, right?
Correct.
We're gonna require one for this building as well.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All right, so under seeker, this is an unlisted? Unlisted action? Okay. I have before me a short environmental assessment form that staff has indicated is in order. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve it. Do I have a second? Second by Sage Newkirk. All in favor, Sage Newkirk, I gotta go individually on this one. You're a yes?
Yes.
Okay, Vince Archer? Yes. Charles Baraco?
Yes.
Wayne Platt is a yes. That is approved. I haven't had to do that in a while, She can fill in the rest of the stuff, right?
Mhm.
All right, so
Fill
at
in
this
the rest.
time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 9 for a period of 1 year. And so you want to just read over the,
I will. So you will have board policies 5, 6, 7, 18, 18A, 22, 23, 25, and 26. The parking area will be developed using a gravel base. Lighting will be standard residential. There will be an assessed fee of $3,000 for the payment in lieu of parkland, which will need to be paid prior to the building permit issuance. Refuse and recycles, the storage and the handling of those will be submitted to staff for review and approval. They will utilize, and the board endorses, the 5-car layout to limit the disturbance to the Bluestone sidewalk area.
Okay. There's a motion. Do we have a second on that? Second by Charles Palaco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Good seeing you, John.
All right, likewise,
Take care.
thank you.
Thanks, John.
Still alive somewhere.
Hmm?
Babs, is Babs still? Yeah,
Mhm.
I remember
Babs.
Babs, yeah. Was effluent coming out of that building. He's like, I was Billy said, I was like, that's not my effluent. That's not. And sure enough, it was. You know, he's like, yeah, he apologized to me. All
It's a
right.
story for another day.
Yeah. Item number 10, 420, 430, 436, and 450 at Beale Street. It's a special permit to establish a short-term rental. Section block and lot is 56.50-6-3.100, 56.50-6-3.200, 56.50-6-2,
Oh, yeah.
56.50-6.1. Secret determination, zone
it's okay.
RFR, Ward 9, Giordano Rodriguez, Waves on the Hudson is the applicant owner.
Waves on the main, LLC.
Okay. Anybody besides the applicant owner wishing to speak on item number 10? Okay. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, welcome. All right.
Do you want
We're gonna put something up on the screen here.
Yeah, I'm basically gonna just show where it is,
Yeah.
so that you can all familiarize yourself. You've probably driven by it a million times. You might not know.
So essentially what the application is there are presently 2 apartments on the upper floor of the building. And the owner now is looking to convert those apartment units into short-term rentals. And under the new laws of the city, he can do that by special permit, special use permit. So that's what he is asking for today. This is not anything to do with the marina use. And I don't know, what the plans are. We don't really have any plans for that at this time. I don't know if you want to talk about any future thoughts or vision for the site, but we're really just dealing with the conversion of those existing units to short-term rental units. You do not reside there, correct?
No.
Okay. And the intent is not for you to reside there? Okay.
That was one of our questions that we had in our discussion. But what did your?
It's okay.
Yeah, resolutions did not.
Okay, good. Yeah, we just had a question about whether it had to be owner occupied or not, but that has not taken place yet. So you're good as it's presented. So good. And what's the threshold for short term? What can't length of time can you not exceed? What is that? The zoning, is it?
I think it's
I think it's 30 days.
30 days.
Okay.
30 days.
So we can't exceed, or is that the minimum?
That's the maximum.
Okay.
30-day stretch. Okay, yeah. So you just want to tell us a little bit what's going on?
So as you can see, or as you probably drove by it many times, it's been in disrepair for such a long time. I just closed on it in May, about 3 months ago. And the idea is to keep it as a marina, expand on the docks that we have. We also purchased the 2 lots right next door to that.
And it goes all the way up to, there's a fish house.
Mhm.
We butt up right up to that property.
Okay.
So basically, the whole idea is that we have boaters come off the river. If they want to spend the night on the creek, there's an option for that on the creek. And also integrate the local community and the public into the marina by adding boat rentals, daily boat rentals, kayaks. We have these things called hydro bikes. They're like bicycles on the water. And then I'm also in the Coast Guard. I've been in for about 12 years, an active veteran. And I want to include some safe boating activities. So if I can tap into a YMCA, that would be great.
Great.
So primarily just kind of clean up the place that we've done so far. Got a dumpster, got rid of all the trash and debris that's been there so far. The next plans are to reface by painting and modify, beautify the property as much as we can. I'm a one-man show. It's just myself. I don't have big money behind me. This is all, literally all refinance my personal house, last deployments, bunch of cash, all in. So this has to work.
So all of the management of the short-term rental units is going to be done through you personally? You don't have a management company that oversees the booking or the cleaning and the, you know, all of that? It's all done through you?
Yeah, so it'll be through Airbnb, which is an app. It's
Okay,
easy to manage.
Airbnb, okay.
We will have a cleaning service that would go in, turn over the units. And everything is digital nowadays. We have cameras, smart locks, so it's easily accessible.
Good.
And I'm local as well. I have a place in Woodstock.
What are you on the wire?
Say again?
Are you what boat are you on?
No, so I'm actually part of a port security unit.
Okay.
So it's a deployable unit. I'm out of Massachusetts, Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Cool. Does he have to submit a management plan to you? Is that part of that? I'm just
No.
looking through the notes here.
We
Okay.
just, yeah, well, we were wondering if it was going to be done, if he's doing it himself.
Okay.
No.
Airbnb does provide some services for that as well.
Everything is through the app.
Yeah.
So it's pretty, and it's not a bunch of units, it's only 2 units. So I don't anticipate many people coming in. There's one unit that's 1 bedroom. So the maximum there will probably be 2. And if we pull out couch, 4 people per that unit.
Mhm.
The second unit is a 2-bedroom with a loft space. So I would anticipate maybe 6 people the most. So it's not a bunch of people coming to the property.
And garbage handling on the site? I mean, you have a dumpster there now?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that.
Okay.
We have the 3 containers that are from the city that we just recently got a dumpster
Okay.
overflowing already. It was great that we had that.
You got anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Great. Well, we're glad to see you go all in on this. This is good. Good.
Nice spot.
All right, so under seeker, it's a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. Is there a term?
There is
one
no,
year
there's no limit.
because of the,
No,
okay.
you know, you might look at something a little like for a year, just to get it established and then,
Yeah, we're talking about the term for the special permit.
Okay.
The board has given a little latitude on that as far as, you know, the timeframe. I don't know if you heard the other applicant that was here. We usually like to do a 1-year term for the first term.
Okay.
See how things go, any problems that arise, you know, then we can address them at that year, the next meeting. So if everything's fine, then we'll certainly entertain going for a longer stretch. So everybody's good with the 1-year term for the initial term? Okay. Okay. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we're gonna need a Knox box. Don't we do? Is that part of your thing?
yes, it is.
Okay. We're gonna require a Knox box there too, which
What is
is,
it? Knox box?
it's a lock box that only the fire department has the key for.
Okay.
So after hours, if there's something going on there, then the fire department needs to get in, they're not breaking doors or windows to get in. They access, and you put what keys you want in there to gain access to the rest of the building, so.
Okay. So most of the locks now are digital. They actually they're punching.
Okay.
That work too, like a code or something.
So, I mean, in this box, you can put a verbiage in there, hey, this is code for this door, is whatever, you know, so And I used to work for the fire department, so it's a very secure system. A lot of buildings in the city have these things. So,
That's a question though, if you're using codes to get into the units, the 2 units that you're renting out, I'm presuming you change those codes with each.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that then, that Knox box would have to be continuously,
Standard codes, so I can put an emergency code for.
Okay,
fire code,
okay,
Cell.
Okay.
Put up to.
all right,
good point.
okay.
Okay, yeah, good. All right, so we're going to require that, all right, and, okay, so, all right. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 10 for a period of 1 year with board policies 6, 12, 19, 22, 25, and 26.
It's 2 units.
Okay, there's 2 units.
The owner being the overseeing management.
And the owner
authority.
will be having oversight of the management of the property.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Vince Archer with a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Good luck, sir.
Thanks
All
very
right,
much.
take care.
So what's the process?
Yeah, we'll be sending you a letter, and I believe you have to register with the Building Safety Division.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care. Be safe.
Still
Is he
running
gonna
after
write
him.
everything? They must be really.
You might as well just
they
hang
must
out
be
in the
hunting
hallway.
hunting for news.
All right, moving into new business. Item number 11 is 71 Furnace Street. A site plan to establish a restaurant. Section block and lot is 56.92-4-43.
I don't see him.
Seeker determination,
Are they
zone C3, Ward 4, Lyndon Peters is the applicant owner.
I don't see
Wait a
them
minute.
here. I would think that they would be here by now. Which one is it?
7, quarter after.
Yeah,
We'll go back.
Skip it and go back.
You want to go back?
yeah.
We'll go back. All right, the applicant's not here right now.
Make sure we remember.
All right. Okay, moving on to item number 12 is 136 Smith Avenue, site plan to establish a grocery store. Section block and lot is 48.82-1-1.200. Seeker determination, zone M2, Ward 5. Hernan Mira is the applicant owner. Have a seat, folks. How are you tonight? Can you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Alex Mera. He's my father, Mera.
Okay. All right. So this is the former Villa Camella restaurant, right?
Yeah, maybe-
Used to wash dishes there.
maybe the setback.
We just invented dishes. What?
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, so we got a picture up here. Tell us what you want to do.
Yes, so, hello. Father got this building and he's trying to turn it from the restaurant that it was, so grocery store, dirty grocery store. It's our first time here, so don't know
Okay.
what exactly how to do.
All right.
but,
Are you you're keeping the kitchen
No, we actually.
functional or you're not?
We demolished everything. The kitchen was huge. there,
Right,
But we made it smaller because we don't need a big kitchen.
right,
now.
okay,
So we made a small kitchen,
okay,
enough for us to do daily sandwiches and,
okay,
small stuff, not as big as.
Right.
Villa Carmela used to do.
okay. Are you keeping any seating inside
No.
at all?
No, because
Okay,
we need
so
as
you
much
all,
Space as possible for all the shelves.
Okay.
And the coolers.
okay. And so your grocery items, fresh vegetables,
Yes.
prepackaged foods, that kind of thing, and then you'll have the typical deli type food?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, good,
Very much that way, as you described.
okay. As far as signage, are you proposing to use that current freestanding
Yes.
space for signage? Do you have a signage plan?
For now my father wants to keep it that way, but eventually he would like to change it to something more electronic or something different, if it's
Okay.
possible. But,
Well, that's possible.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We haven't talked with my father about the signing. What we were more concerned about it was the parking. Because as you can see before, the handicap used to be there. And I don't know if that's gonna be an issue for us to keep, because, we have the handicap ramp right there, so I believe. we
Right.
can Keep the parking for the handicaps there. Will be great.
Well, how many handicap spots do they need?
he only needs one handicap parking space. Do you feel that you're going to need two? I think that the majority of, I mean, in looking at this location, my thought is the majority of your customer base is going to be walking from the neighborhoods that are all around you.
Yes.
And I mean, your deli certainly is going to attract, workers that are there from the DEP, the post office. You've got other businesses in that, like, in that stretch of
Yeah.
Cornell Street, I think, that are going to be, utilizing you. So a lot of your customers, I think, are going to be walking customers and not driving.
That's correct.
I'm looking at the site and trying to think of how we can reduce that pavement area. To me, it's just like a sea of asphalt. I'd like to kind of cut it back, pull it back a little, and reduce, right now, it's just one wide open curb cut from the corner down Cornell, and there's a little bit of curbing along the Smith Avenue. I'm wondering if you would be open to the idea of putting some planter boxes in to somewhat restrict the locations where vehicles can get in and out of the site to the parking. You've got a very large parking area off of Cornell, which I think would be is an asset for you.
Well, the parking is something that I think we're gonna need. Dice que tenemos mucho parqueo, o sea, está muy abierto la parte.
Got plenty of parking on that left side.
Yeah, maybe you can have them work with us at staff level to pull a plan together that creates a better traffic circulation. We can look at, I didn't have time to look at this.
Sorry.
Go-
We have-
go ahead.
There's an apartment up there, so the family that was interested in renting has 2 cars,
Okay,
and I believe
Okay.
they're gonna use the parcel as well.
okay.
Us, we're gonna need parking for, we're a family-owned business. That's what's gonna be a family-owned business.
Good.
And, even though, as I agree with you, there will be some customers that will come walking. Now as well, we're gonna have some customers that come down driving, because from all the towns around, it's gonna be like, or also like Spanish products. And I know, because we have another grocery store on Broadway, that's Express Latinos. They always drive from these towns around, like Woodstock and things like that.
Okay.
Because they come looking for authentic, Spanish products that they cannot find, let's say Walmart or big stores like that.
So this is in addition to your current store. This is a
Yeah.
second location for you? Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Try to expand and, do something
Okay.
similar to what we have on Broadway.
Okay. What kind of deliveries do you get? Are they large trucks? Are they smaller box trucks? Are they van type deliveries that bring your product in? And how frequently do you have that happen?
Is there
Yeah.
tractor trailers?
Just one, the biggest one is Goya, who always comes in a tractor trailer.
And they have a smaller trailer, don't they, the Goya trailers?
They do, and some, but usually because we have large orders, they come on the big semi
Okay.
truck. And, but most of the products that we get, we have a small cargo van. It's one of those Ford Transit cargo vans. And ourselves, we go down to New York City where we can get all the products.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like different other stores that get deliveries, we go and we get the products. And that way it works better for us because we can pick and choose, and it's awesome.
Okay. Where would your products go into the building? So when that tractor trailer comes, or when you have that cargo van, they come in through the Smith Avenue side? Is that where you would bring product into the building?
Why don't you make it so they come and they work it out? We're not gonna, we can put a drawing together. We can put planters on the drawing at staff level.
Conditional approval.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a back door on the back of the building. My father saying that we use the parking, but it's. Right there is the entrance to
There's a little alley there.
to the, there's an entrance to the basement, but we're not gonna use this because we're trying not to keep parking in here.
Okay,
Actually, we'll go from the other side, and there is a back door right here, there's like a small hallway right there. at the back of the
Okay.
building, And that's where we get all the products in.
Okay.
Store, from the back of the building.
and I see the Bilko doors there. There's a basement in this building?
There is, yes.
What is the basement used? Is it just, do you have storage down there or is it just mechanicals?
Storage.
Storage, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We keep storage there. And then, so, we can get all the products from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the access to the residential unit is
It's the one right there. That
right
one-
there?
That one. yeah.
Okay. And it's just one upstairs, you
Just
said,
one
right? A
apartment,
family?
yeah,
Okay,
family.
okay.
So the tractor trailer would deliver to that door right there?
Yeah, the tractor trailer can park inside, and they have those kind of trucks that will go.
So he can back off the street and get in there?
Yes.
How many times a week? Like once a week they come?
For Goya, it's every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks, and some other small products like cheese, that's what we get every week, like every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or milk, we get every week, because those are products that don't last longer or as long as others. But those are every week, but they come in small cars, like small cargo bags.
Okay. Now, folks, in,
For
as
now.
far as the parking, that we're talking about the planter boxes. I mean, I think what we're looking at is suggesting they go where that rope, the rope is with the buckets, like put them in the front there so that it prevents vehicles just from just using every inch of the pavement going in and out, have some direction. Is everybody okay with that on the board? That they'll be movable, if they're not gonna be a
Yes.
permanent.
Less accidents.
For the tractor trailer.
Well, no,
No, they wouldn't interfere with
no,
that,
the
no.
tractor, they would stay. Yeah, they would stay.
It's where the markers are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we agree with that, because we leave those chains, and they actually install the chains.
Right.
People move them out.
Yeah.
Inside, and it's crazy.
Something just to prevent accidents.
Or just
But
some
create
people,
green
just
and-
having something so that they can flow, into one end, and, have an opening at one end of the planter boxes and then flow and not just kind of go wherever you want over top of the whole pavement area there. And, we can.
We'll work that out at
the-
staff.
Things like this have been, historically worked out at staff level too. I mean, but just the concept of having those planter boxes, everybody's good with that, and is everybody okay with?
Remember when Villa Camilla was there, they didn't have.
I know, so this will be an improvement on that, I think, with
Yeah.
flow. But, is everybody comfortable with this being handled at staff level on the planter boxes? And yeah, okay. So, we've talked about the planter boxes. This is something, there's gonna be some things that you can talk about, away from this meeting. Sue and Kyla will help you develop a plan to how to get those planter boxes configured and the parking arrangement, so, okay? Yeah. Is there a dumpster there right now?
No.
I talked to him about, it's
Have
gonna
that
be in
in
his
here,
back,
in and out.
Dumpster used to be back here.
yeah, it's gonna be in that back corner.
He's cleaned up a lot, and he's actually, they've added a fence along that property line.
Yeah, over here?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
they-
pictures, but I just didn't print them.
And I they have them in their notes.
To show the improvement
show-
that we've done.
Right.
You know, all those
Yeah.
issues that you see, we change all the fencing. we did
Right.
planting some.
Okay.
yeah.
And you're gonna have a dumpster on site too?
Yes.
In the back corner?
Yeah, and we will do like doors. on
The enclosure?
Yeah, enclosure, so it doesn't.
Because that's required too, the
Yes,
enclosure. Okay.
yes, we're looking. at those doors. So
And as long as they use the same dimensions of that sign there, they can.
They're fine,
there's
but
no-
we want,
yeah.
with final sign, they can
They'll talk
submit
to you
to
about
staff,
that too,
with
yeah.
the design, that's
We'll
fine.
explain to them if they got
Yep.
it, if they're going to electronics, I guess.
Yep. Are you changing out the lighting at all on the site? Any new lighting, or you're just going to use the existing?
Yeah, this is the ones. I mean, when you say changing, it's like changing to LEDs, because we did change some
Okay.
to LEDs, but, I don't know if we are allowed to do that or not.
Oh, changing to LED? No, you're
Okay.
fine. Yeah, that's good.
That's the only thing we did.
That's better.
Yeah. Yeah. that's the only
Yeah.
thing we did.
Yep.
What are your hours of operation going to be there?
We'll see how it goes, but for now, uh, 6 AM to 8 PM,
Okay.
yeah. For now, and then if we have to stay longer, we'll stay longer. Because the Storm Brother, we open from 6 AM to 10 PM.
Yeah.
7 days a week?
7 days a week, yeah.
And it's all family employees
It's all-
primarily?
Yeah.
Okay.
All my siblings help me with my mom and my dad.
Anything else?
No?
Okay. Oh, I got your copy? That's a good one. I don't make it. Any other questions from the board?
To see this is gonna be used,
Yeah.
going to waste.
It's been too many years. but-
Yeah. And the fact that you're already in the business kind of helps along too, you know what you know what you're doing. That's good. All right, so let me see here.
Type 2.
Okay, so under seeker, this is a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 12 with, you want to go over the litany of,
I will.
okay.
So it would be board policies 6, 10, 11, 12, 14, 19, 25, and 26. And we'll define those for you when we get you the information. Final signage plan will be submitted to staff for the record. They will work with staff on the final parking layout and planter locations as discussed. And the dumpster will have a pad, and the detail of the pad and the screening will be submitted to staff for review and approval.
Okay, that's a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Vince Archer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Yeah, so get with staff, get everything, all the loose ends tied up, and you'll be good to go. All right?
Where do I have to come back, or
You don't have to come back here at all. Just, you have to talk with Sue and Kyla.
Just
down
us.
at the-
tomorrow, or do I wait?
Tomorrow, we'll be in the office tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to come in tomorrow?
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
thank you.
Give a
All right.
call or just
Thank you
stop
so
in.
much. Good luck,
Thank you
folks.
so
Good
much.
seeing
Have a
you.
good night, everyone.
All right.
Number 13, we had Wilbur Avenue.
Well, 13 was missing off our staff notes, wasn't it?
Wilbur Avenue,
That's why we're missing a number.
yeah.
13.
Well, we'll just,
Did we do staff note? We did? Did you do staff notes for
we
them?
probably don't even need to, do we?
No.
That's
I
already,
think
they're
I'm
already doing
losing
stuff down there.
Kyla's losing it. That's
Yeah.
Kyla, that's a
I
Kyla.
wonder if it accidentally got, like,
Right,
if it got erased.
Do you remember I mentioned where's 13? Was it?
Yeah, and I just thought I had
It's
the
Wilbur
numbers
Avenue,
wrong.
it's the Kingston
All
Land
right,
Trust.
well,
Are they
we have
here?
enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay,
didn't have it on my-
okay. It's the
it's
Kingston
on
Land
the
Trust.
agenda though,
Are you
right?
doing this one?
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
doing
we'll
this
figure it out.
yeah, we'll handle.
one? All
They
right.
came to, no, I'm not.
Am I-
There's someone here though.
Okay, are we putting it in? We're gonna do
Yeah,
it?
yeah, let's, yeah.
Yeah, here, you have it on there, right? To read it into the record?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, item 13 is 32-60 Wilbur Avenue, site plan for grading, parking, and public access. Section block and lot is
Maybe.
56.49-3-1.
Here.
Seeker determination, type 2, Ward 9, Zone RRR.
Heritage Area. Kingston Land Trust is the applicant owner. Welcome.
Thank you.
I don't have to.
Can you state your names for the record, please?
Sure, my name is Greg Sheehy. And I'm John Montaigne with GPI. Career Peterson.
Hi,
How are you?
good.
All right, so I see some work being done down there, right? We're getting cleared up, the driveway's up there,
We
ready to
have
go, right?
something
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, what you're seeing for now has mostly been tree clearing, like,
Yeah.
well, I should say tree cleanup. Tree clearing was done by the previous owner. We've just been cleaning up.
Okay.
For now. Yeah, I'll just speak quickly. So yeah, I'm.
Okay, she's
again,
got
Greg.
the one set of drawings up, so we can.
Yeah, and John's also got a board here. Yeah, you just go to the third drawing on that set.
So everybody's familiar with where this location is on Wilbur Avenue? This is
It's just up from the triangle with Davis and Dunn Street.
on the Abeal Street end. If you're on Abeal and you're heading up, okay, you go through that kind of triangular area, and it's just, what would you say, 50 yards, maybe north of that is where you're looking to go in it would be on the right-hand side.
That's a big.
The stream runs along
Yeah.
Wilbur on the
Yeah.
left.
Before the big old cigar factory.
Oh, that was school number one.
Back in the day, school
Back
number
in the
one,
day, it was school number one.
That was a school as well, the cigar factory?
he went there.
No, I'm four.
Oh, that's right, you were number 4, that's right. you're-
So yeah, I mean, I could just speak very briefly to just what,
Okay.
in general, what we're doing there. Again, Greg, I'm the Conservation and Stewardship Director at the Kingston Land Trust. And this land, there are now, 12 acres that we, protected in perpetuity as open space towards the City of Kingston's open space plan that's been done recently. And then there's also another 8 acres that's protected, that's contiguous, that has been protected by another land conservancy, which is the Northeastern Cave Conservancy. So there's a really amazing cave that they have on there. And there's also a few caves on the land that we steward and protect. So, there's also, we basically envision a network of trails for folks to just hike and get some views of the Rondout Creek, some history, because it was limestone mining. It's basically a historic quarry there, where kind of nature has come back and then was cut down again by the previous owner, and we're kind of restoring and, bringing the community there, but it's difficult in terms of the slopes are quite steep. And so, and also, as you all probably know, Wilbur is a very difficult pedestrian road, and there's not much parking down in Wilbur. So, one of our main first projects has been is to build a parking lot, and then from there the trail system and open up to the public. And so that's what we're working on. We're working with GPI, and they've been really great to accommodate all of our needs in terms of moving from a site plan that we did with the trail company to now having a full-fledged engineering plan that, and we've been back and forth with John Schulteis. So I'm gonna, at that kind of, unless there's any other questions on that part of it, you can always ask me, but I'm gonna pass it off to John Montaigne to kind of explain the engineering side.
So we were hired to take a look at the concept that was laid out originally. And the original concept brought the road in for the parking lot where the clearing is right now. And the biggest issues that were brought up were site distance from that location, the slope that's there, how steep it's going to be, and then just generally how you would get up in there and how many spaces we could get in. So the first thing that we did once we had the survey, the site evaluation, there was a utility pole just to the very north end of the property. What we looked at is the further up Wilbur Avenue we could get, the better the site distance would be. So we tucked the driveway right up against that utility pole. From that utility pole, then, if you look to the south, back down towards the triangle, we've got about 194 feet of visibility that we can see now, coming down, right? So coming down. And you can see the like U-shaped structure there. That's the old foundation, that big foundation that's there. And so that's what's the limiting factor on the site distance. We're going to grade that slope back. We're going to take the trees that are on that part of that hill out. There's actually a berm that kind of sticks out into the road there. We'll be taking that back. And there's some old stone wall that's in there that we'll take back. We're going to take that all the way back, all the way up to that large foundation. Foundation at this point is rather expensive. So what we're hoping is that by doing that site distance clearing, it'll be enough. It'll be a safe intersection. Ideally, we'd like to have 220 feet. This is 194 feet from 14 feet back. So you can park back 14 feet. If you creep forward that another 2 feet, you actually get to 220 feet for your visibility. The other thing that we look at, as we said, this is a fairly steep piece of property. The road in this area is super elevated with a 2% crown already. And sheet drains off to the one side. So that gives us a little bit of an angle coming up to the property, and then we're going to come in with an 8% grade coming up into the parking lot. The two of those together then out the rate difference is 6%. A little more than we'd like, but it still will move vertical curve in there, and it'll be adequate for basically a driveway for this. There'll be 7 spaces that are there. One of them will be handicap accessible. One of the things that we are looking at is there is a second plateau to the southeast on this. So you can see where the parking lot ends. There's that area that's where the trail goes up, and there's a plateau above. The Conservancy is looking at doing letting that be a continued road to go up there. And then up on that flat plateau, we may actually move the handicap space in another visitor space up there. And then that can be an accessible lookout area for the trail also. So we're trying to build that handicap accessibility into the design.
And that's just to add on to that, which wouldn't require any additional tree clearing probably.
Right, because that area up there is already clear. There's another foundation up there.
There's like a second big poured concrete retaining wall. So it's kind of a natural flat area.
Right, and that would be, Greg and I have spoken a little bit about this, that plan is not fully yet developed, but that would be an extension of this. And what he would like to have authority to do is work with staff, and that would include John Schulteis, the city engineer, that once those plans are developed, that if they're satisfactory to staff, that would be part of this review process.
And the only last piece I'd add is that John, the engineer, did have some concerns about some drainage and how we're dealing with that. A couple of things that we've done. One is the upper parking lot itself will be porous asphalt. So we're trying to intercept all that water coming off of that. That leaves only the driveway throat itself coming down to Wilbur. At the toe slope at Wilbur, we're going to do a slot drain all the way across the road that'll intercept that. We've already got a drainage pipe that we're bringing underneath the culvert, underneath the road, so it'll slot drain right into that. And then we have swales that go along the north side and the south side of the lot to pick up any drainage that comes in and get it into the swale that goes along Wilbur Avenue and keep it off of the road. So we believe that we've got this, with best engineering as we can on it, given the constraints on the property.
I want to talk about like lighting or signage or anything like that. I don't know. If they're going to put any signage identifying, the entryway, and then the handicap would be typical signage, that kind of thing.
Any lighting or signage proposed here? To identify the handicapped area, parking, or lighting?
Handicap spaces will have signs for the handicap spaces. So that'll be the only signage that's regulatory signage.
Yeah.
But any signage down by the street?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, but that would be, when we actually open it up to the public. And I don't anticipate, even if we do the parking lot trail this fall, which is really the goal, we probably wouldn't, open it up until the spring.
Yeah.
And if we did it in the fall and we have funding to do signage, is that something that would be like a separate thing that we need to get approved, or?
Well, you'd have to bring that to, this isn't in Heritage area, is it?
Yeah, this is in Heritage, and they have been to Heritage.
Oh, okay, I see Heritage area, yeah. I mean, that would have to be presented before them too, right?
Signage, yeah.
Would have to go before the Heritage area.
I mean, you could theoretically say if it follows approval of Heritage, that you would sign off on it.
We don't anticipate anything really large and
Large.
visible. It's gonna be the kind of place. that
You might
kind
even
of-
fall into the exempt category ultimately.
Okay.
How much trails are you gonna have that? What's the vision of that?
Yeah, so we had, there's a local company called the Howes Trail Nation Accord, that works all over, you know, they do a lot of big projects, and they did a whole assessment analysis of trails. So I don't have that, I could, you know, share that with you, but basically it would, you know, there'd be one that goes from the parking lot that takes you up to this like
Do you have that
open
plan
quarry
that shows
area.
that?
Then from that, there would essentially be a loop trail that goes to the cave entrance, goes through the Caves Conservancy property, up the hill, and then a loop all the way around the upper quarry towards the back of the 12 Spill golf course.
So it goes up by the tunnel too, right, for the up near?
Yeah, not all the way, yeah, closer to it. The tunnel is in the 12 Spill backwoods area. So yeah, that's basically the vision. Yeah, kind of a loop trail, and then a couple of different options, the accessible trail.
And that company you talked about, they design it so that there's not these precarious cliffs that you have to navigate. They're gonna help design that. That's what they do.
Yeah. So far, the first stage, if we do the trail work this year, is going to be just basically improving the trail that we already made from the parking lot to the quarry, and that one's like pretty safe. Yeah, when we get to the next steps, it's going to be interesting because there might be some that are almost like,
There you go.
think of like,
So
I know, you do know that. Thanks,
From the landmarks. or
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
this part is going to be interesting when you get up through, this is kind of a steep area, it might require some of those like, have anyone's ever been to like Acadia Park in Maine, there's like these steel
can't
runs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like it might get interesting, but that's like the next phase. But then here, it's just be about siting it around, and, you know, we would be thinking about barriers and all that.
I think it's type 2.
Cool.
Be under 4,000 square feet.
Well, really, there's it's an extensive network out there. You don't realize it when you're looking at. I mean, I just see where the entrance is right now. I never knew how far, you know.
Oh, yeah, there's, you know, tons of hickory trees and sugar maple, and it's, for Kingston, it's relatively sort of pristine.
Good.
I think it's going to be wonderful when it's opened.
Yeah. Any other questions from the board? Do you have any other issues?
No.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. There's no, is there a seeker in this one? I don't have any.
Type
notes.
2.
I don't have any notes. Okay. All right.
What happened this month?
Yeah, I don't know. So under seeker, this is a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 13 with
Board policy 6.
board policy 6.
And then the final approval by the planning and the city engineer for the plans and the extension.
Can you
And
read
final.
that for me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
So board policy 6 will be applied to this. And also the final approval will be from the planning staff and city engineer on the plans, the full plans and the extension as was discussed. Final signage, once you've determined that, submit that to city staff, city planning staff. And we'll review that and then make a determination where we go.
All right, so that is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Second by Sage Newkirk. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
And a whole section in the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into old business. Item 14 is 9-17 and 21 North Front Street and a portion of Fair Street Extension. It's a site plan / special permit to construct a mixed-use building with a 420-car garage, 143 apartments, 32 hotel rooms, and 8,000 square feet of retail space. Section block and lot is 48.80-1-25.100 and 26. Secret determination, zone C2, mixed-use overlay district. Kingstonian Development LLC is the applicant. Kingstonian Development LLC and the city of Kingston are the owners. The records show that Dennis Larios and Michael Moriello are here. Welcome, folks. Hello. Okay, so,
Members should have in their packets.
yeah, we don't have this one, I got this one.
You have that one,
Yeah.
correct?
So everybody's got the, it's basically a rough draft of a proposed resolution for this project. It's quite extensive and covers a lot of ground. But as I said, it is a rough draft at this time. It's not in any form to be decided upon tonight. So basically, just instructing our members, you know, since we've gotten this packet today, that we're going to be tabling tonight. There's not going to be a decision made. So I'm going to instruct our board members to go over this document in between now and our next meeting, and to come up with any questions that may be arising regarding this project. Also, some other aspects of the decision-making process will be, I know the Parks and Recreation Commission has met, right? And they have not submitted a formal recommendation to this board as far as the fees that are going to be assessed for the recreation fee. So we're still waiting on that. What else do we have with, we're going to be taking a look at this over the next month.
Right, it's, as Wayne has mentioned, it's a first rough draft cut of a resolution approving the Kingstonian project for the site development plan and the special use permit. It contains a good deal of information. Staff is reviewing it with Corporation Counsel presently. You will most likely receive another iteration of this before the next month's meeting, but we want you to go through it. We want to ask you this evening if you have any further questions for Dennis or Mike that you would like them to look at or respond to this evening. We've been through multiple meetings, multiple aspects of this project have been reviewed. Heritage and Landmarks have reviewed this and approved it. You have copies of that decision. There's also a lot of documentation. We've gone through all the landscaping. The Tree Commission has recently reviewed it, made some recommendations, which the applicants have agreed to making those changes on their plans. So we are nearing, a place where we're all comfortable. There'll be several conditions that are applied, but we want to ask you this evening if you have anything else that you feel that you need to have a better understanding of. So I'll open the floor for board members. If there's nothing, we'll.
Yeah, I have no questions tonight. I mean, I'm
Okay.
going to take a look at this draft resolution, and, I'm sure I'll have some questions or comments at the next meeting.
I have no questions at this time. Go ahead.
Vince?
No, I'd like to review this too.
Yeah,
No questions.
okay. We have some other board members who aren't here tonight that are, that they've gotten this packet as well, so.
Well, yeah, well, we have not sent it to, we were handed it to board members present this evening. The absent members will get it via email tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we fully expect changes and additions by staff and by council too. I mean, this is kind of like said, a rough draft of
Yeah.
what's out there.
Yeah.
Matt, is there anything you want to add?
Well, just that my office has already will continue to review this and make some suggested changes. But I have no questions for the applicants or anything further. If anyone wants to, or after they've read this, have some questions, legal questions, feel free to contact my office and I'd be happy to discuss it with you.
Okay. All right, so seeing no questions from our board members and we will be reviewing this. We can go for paper, right, Dennis? Okay. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we, what number is this? This is not going to be 13.
This is 14.
This will be 14. I'm going to make a motion that we table item number 14 at this time. Do I have a second? Second by Chuck Colaco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Decision
Okay.
document for Wilbur? Yeah. Huh. I think you might have used an old agenda, maybe when you started the stuff notes.
Okay, so we're going to be bringing it up to folks from Golden Hill this time, but we're going to move to item number 16 first, which is the recommendation from the Common Council on proposed zoning. This is item number 16.
It's the same project.
Same project.
Yeah.
You want them to come up here right now with us too?
Yeah.
More chairs.
All right, so this is a recommendation to the Common Council, 63 Golden Hill Drive, on a proposed rezoning from R to O2.
We have to go back to
Section
Plymouth
block and lot of
Street, too.
56.40-1-19.300. Seeker determination zone R, Ward 3. Ulster County is the owner and Penrose NY Developer LLC is the applicant. All right, I'm not gonna have you introduce yourselves yet. We're gonna go ahead with
Well, they can. It's the same application, so have them introduce themselves.
you
Both.
can introduce yourselves.
Sorry.
Roger
We-
Keating,
All right.
site engineer for Labella Associates.
Everybody, my name is Will Bella, with Penrose, we're a developer.
Michael Berg, I work for that.
Okay.
All right.
Looking at the recommendation. Okay, 16.
All right, so the Common Council is considering the rezoning request to change the parcel from R, which is single-family residential district, to an R6.
No, O2.
Okay, so this is incorrect on here, right, on our notes?
Yep.
Okay, O2. And this change will allow for the proposed Golden Hill project to continue. Do I have to read this whole thing in there? This is just part of our
Well,
notes.
it is, you do have to look at, I would. read
All
it.
right, so the
And-
planning board issued a negative declaration of environmental significance on July 13th of 2022. As part of that determination, the board recognized and understood that the rezoning would be required. Continue here.
I would just, I'll do this one. Staff has been contacted by residents after the public comment period and before, although it wasn't submitted as public comment, requesting that the board delay making any recommendation on the rezoning, saying that the Common Council has yet to hold their public hearing. Staff would advise the board that that public hearing is not a requirement for this board to make their recommendation. You're also under a time frame to make a recommendation back to the Common Council, although that could be extended. I feel that the board has had ample opportunity to evaluate the project. And as part of the review process all along, we've recognized that this rezoning was part of this project proposal. We have held our own public hearings on various aspects of the review. And you've heard a lot of public comment about the project. At this point, I don't see any reason or need for you to delay a recommendation. As Wayne mentioned, when we did the secret determination, it was recognized within that secret determination that this rezoning would be part of this project. So I think it's
Yeah.
been fully vetted at this board's level and I'm comfortable with having you move forward in making the recommendation.
And the reason why we're doing 16 before 15 is because we can make, we can concur with the zoning, change the zoning as a condition of the approval.
Correct.
So that's why we're gonna, we wanted to discuss number 16 first.
Right.
So that we could get that out of the way and then move on to.
There are certain issues that in your findings under the city code and they're in your staff notes that you do need to look at when you are making your recommendations. So that's where I really want you to focus your discussion tonight.
Okay. And do they have to meet all the criteria?
Well, you had to consider all those in making your findings, yes.
Okay. So we'll go through item by item on this. A is whether such change is consistent with the objectives and purpose of the districts to be affected. Do we have to address each one individually? Can we do it collectively after reading them all?
You should do them individually.
Okay. I
mean, you can concur. Staff has written a short blurb for each aspect. I would pretty much encourage each of you to open up your discussion and put your own thoughts in.
Well, I mean, my thoughts are going to surround the fact that it has been understood that a rezoning would have to be approved for this project to move forward. And I do think it meets with is consistent with the objectives and purposes of the districts that it's affecting. It's largely undeveloped, really, right? There's no, I don't think it's
Well,
gonna.
the site has been previously developed.
Yeah,
It's
but
the
I mean,
jail.
just the what was there previously and what is proposed there is not going to adversely, it's going to meet the objectives of the district that it's affecting. So I concur with staff's assertion that it meets with item A.
Anybody else? Chuck, thoughts?
I agree with Wayne. And
Vince?
Yeah, I concur.
Okay.
Item B is the nature and location of uses and buildings to be affected and the manner in which they will be affected. I know staff has indicated here that the surrounding usage says that will not be negatively impacted. Again, it's the location of this project. I think exemplifies that it's the surrounding area is not going to have a negative impact on the existing properties and buildings that are there right now. So I concur with staff's assertion on item B. Chuck, everybody else?
I concur.
Sage, okay. Item C is whether uses permitted by the proposed change will be appropriate in the affected areas. And again, I concur with staff's assertion that the change will be appropriate to the affected area. Again, this zoning change had to take place for this project to move forward. So, Chuck, I concur. Vince? Concur. Sage? Okay. And item D is the effect of the change on existing or proposed public facilities and services such as schools, streets, utilities, etc. During the secret process, all of these items were discussed. We've received communications from the school district and other agencies involved here that say that these will not have a negative impact
or affect this, the items that are listed here. So again, they've been vetted during the secret process, and I concur with staff's assertion that we move forward with the rezoning change based on that. Chuck?
I can,
Vince? And Sage?
Agreed.
Okay. All right, so with all those items mentioned, staff recommends that the board, after reviewing, considering and amending the above, make a recommendation in favor of the rezoning. I concur, and at this time, I'll make a motion that this board concurs with the recommendation to rezone this property from triple R to O2.
I would, hang on. Okay. So I wrote that we will use the notes as prescribed by staff as responsive a final report to the Common Council recommending in favor of the rezoning of the parcel identified as Lot 1 from subdivision map 22-183 dated 9/9/22 in favor.
Okay. So that is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Second by Chuck Palaco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right.
That one.
And as I said, we can make this a condition of the approval for, I'm going to read it to the rest of the other items, so. All right, moving back to item number 15. This is under old business.
Yeah. Do you want that?
It's 63 Golden Hill Drive, site plan / special permit for construction of intergenerational affordable mixed income 164 unit housing community. Section block and lot is 56.40-1-19.300. Seeker determination, zone triple R, Ward 3, Ulster County is the owner, and Penrose NY Developer LLC is the applicant. But the records show that the folks who are here from item 16 are here for item number 15. Welcome again.
Well, we do have some discussions.
Okay.
So if you want to kind of read the resolution, or you want to go through the discussion first.
Oh, this is this other sheet, right?
You have a copy of the resolution.
Yeah.
And your staff notes have.
Some discussion.
Yep.
Right.
I'll go through the staff notes first, and then we'll have to
Yeah.
read the resolution.
So the Parks and Recreation Commission met, and they did provide the board with their recommendations for go for the flow.
That is their recommendation.
Okay, which is $3,000 for each unit over the first 4. Do we have the latitude to? We got to go with that, because they do have some parkland there.
It's not public parkland.
It's not public. Okay. So the parkland that's going to be on there is not going to be public. It's going to be just for the folks who are.
In the resolution, there is a discussion on that. You can go, when you go through the resolution. No, it's just,
Okay.
there's a whole section in the resolution that discusses it and the reasoning why. Board, you've had this resolution since Friday. Are there any questions on the resolution as it was drafted and sent out? Okay,
I don't.
so these items are just in the resolution?
So we can identify all of these items that are in
Mhm.
staff notes and that they'll be addressed here. Just also wanted to just reiterate and have the applicant reaffirm that the traffic light at the Boulevard will be the responsibility of the applicant for installation, correct? That's right, part of that, just to reaffirm that. Okay. I'm just looking at the resolution, so.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm just going to go into the resolution. We have a draft resolution for the approval for this
You don't have
application.
one? I gave them all to Dennis.
Resolution of the City of Kingston Planning Board approving the site plan for Golden Hill Housing and special use permit for the daycare center at 63 Golden Hill Drive, Kingston, New York, 12401. A portion of section block and lot is of 56.40-1-19.3. Whereas Penrose NY Developer LLC, the applicant, submitted applications, plans, and other supporting documentation to the City of Kingston Planning Board, hereby known as the Board, for construction of 6 buildings, including housing 164 units of intergenerational affordable mixed income housing in a community building housing a daycare center function on 20.14 plus or minus acres subdivided from a 41 plus acre parcel owned by Ulster County, in parentheses, the action. And whereas the complex will reserve a portion of the housing for special needs populations, including victims, survivors of domestic violence, and frail and elderly seniors. And whereas the action includes a zoning change of the 20.14 plus or minus acre parcel from RRR, single family residential, to O2 limited office. And whereas the action to be known as Golden Hill is located at number 63 Golden Hill Drive, portion of section block and lot 56.40-1-19.300, and identified as lot number 1, 20.14 plus or minus acres on plat of subdivision prepared for Penrose LLC. Revised date, June 8th, 2022. In parentheses, Ulster County Clerk file map number 22-183, dated September 9th, 2022. And whereas the board received application and supporting documentation for said action on October 2021, with revised and supplemental information being submitted over the course of multiple meetings through July 2022. And whereas the board conducted a public hearing on April 4th, 2022, which covered subdivision, site development plan, special use permit, and seeker. And whereas the board has reviewed and considered comments from the City Conservation Advisory Council, City Engineer, Building Safety Division, City Fire Chief, Kingston Water Department, Kingston School District, general public, and applicants' responses. And whereas the board required a separate traffic impact assessment to be completed to evaluate the concerns of the general public, and at the May 16th, 2022 board meeting, the board endorsed the findings and recommendations contained in the final traffic impact analysis dated May 16th, 2022, as prepared by the city's consultant, GPI. And whereas all documentation outlined in attachment A, reviewed document listing, in parentheses, September 15th, 2022, and comments are made part of this review in their full form. And whereas all public comment, supporting documentation, plans, relevant studies, and meeting documents are posted to the City of Kingston website for access by the public. And whereas the board determined the action to be unlisted under seeker, however, decided to seek lead agency status in resolution dated 11/15/21 and conduct a coordinated review process. And whereas pursuant to 6 NYC-RR, Part 617, the board adopted a negative declaration
as final determination of non-significance by resolution dated July 13th of 2022. And whereas on July 13th, 2022, the board approved a 2-lot subdivision along with all required easements and rights of way, establishing the parcel of land to be assigned for this action, or specifically identified as Lot 1, 20.14 plus or minus acres on plat of subdivision prepared for Penrose LLC. Revised date June 8th, 2022, which is Ulster County Clerk File Map number 22-183, dated September 9th, 2022. And whereas the City of Kingston Parks and Recreation Commission has reviewed the action in accordance with local laws and issued a recommendation dated August 29th, 2022, to impose a payment in lieu of parkland fee of $3,000 per unit as allowed. And whereas the action was referred to the Ulster County Planning Board and a recommendation was returned under referral number 2022-082 dated June 1st, 2022. And whereas the action has been referred to the Building Safety Division for compliance with zoning standards. And whereas the applicant and the County of Ulster will bear the cost of off-site traffic improvements. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Kingston Planning Board as follows. Section 1, after thorough review of the documentation and public comment, the board votes to approve the site plan to construct 164 units of intergenerational, 80 units to be maintained as senior housing, 62 years or older, affordable mixed income housing, community building, along with supporting infrastructure and improvements on lot number 1, 20.14 plus or minus acres on plat of subdivision prepared for Penrose LLC. Revised date of June 8th, 2022. Ulster County Clerk File Map number 22-183 dated September 9th, 2022. Section 2, after thorough review of the documentation, of all documentation in consideration of requirements specified under Section 405-9B3, the board votes to approve the issuance of special use permit for the operation of the daycare center with a capacity of 80 students.
30.
Oh, I got a blur there. Try to get it.
Sure.
30 students.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you. For a term to expire upon cease of operation management under family Woodstock. Section 3, approval shall include all conditions as follows. Submission of a detailed cost estimate of all site improvements for review and approval by the city engineer for purposes of defining the required performance bond of the action. Submission of performance bond in the amount to be set by the board based on the opinion of the city engineer and in a form sufficient to planning staff and the corporation council prior to issuance of any building permits. Rezoning of lot number 1 as shown on Ulster County File Map number 22-183 dated September 9th, 2022. Be confirmed by the City of Kingston Common Council from RRR, which is one family residence, to O2, which is limited office. All improvements within the public right-of-way shall be as follows. Have final sign-off by the Department of Public Works. Have final sign-off of the city engineer. Consistent with all findings and recommendations of Greenman Peterson Incorporated, the city's traffic consultant, in the final technical review report dated May 16, 2022, as endorsed by the board at the May 16, 2022 meeting. Emergency gate at the head of Glen Street shall be designed in cooperation with the emergency service providers and City of Kingston, be designed, purchased, and installed at expense of applicant and or County of Ulster, be installed apart from the action, be in place and operational on or before 1 year from the date of this resolution or before the issuance of a building permit, whichever comes first, unless extended by mutual consent. Traffic signal at intersection of Boulevard, which is State Route 32 and Golden Hill Drive, and associated signage, pavement markings, etc., shall be designed in cooperation with City of Kingston officials and include all accessory signage, pedestrian lights, and other mechanisms or safety measures deemed appropriate. Be designed, approved, purchased, and installed at expense of applicant and County of Ulster. Be in place and operational on or before any issuance of a certificate of occupancy, temporary or permanent. Kingston Water Department issue final sign-off of system providing the potable water supply to the action. The following board policies are hereby incorporated. Policy 1 and 1A, which is stormwater compliance. Policy 2, tree removal and replacement. Policy 3, 3A and 3B, as-built plans and performance bond. Policy 4 and 4A, which is lighting. Policy 6, affirmation of compliance with approved plans. Policy 7 and 7A, approval timeframes. Policy 8 and 8A, clerk of the works and project directory. Policy 9, survey markouts. Policy 12, hours of collection, delivery, and pickup restrictions. Policy 13, maintain accurate contact information. Policy 14 and 14A, dig safely on plans, utility contact. Policy 15, zoning data. 17 and 17A, contact with school district, landlord registration. Policy 18, recreation fee. Policy 18A, recreation fee sign statement. Policy 19, noise ordinance compliance. Policy 20, consulting fees if required. Policy 22, carbon monoxide detectors. Policy 25 is Knox box. Policy 26, acquired building permit in required time frame. Compliance with all mitigation measures as defined in the adopted negative declaration of environmental significance dated July 13th, 2022 by the board resolution. Refuse and recycling collection will be by private hauler. Final sign off of the United States Postal Service for location and design of mail receptacles. Final layout and location dispersing EV charging stations around site to be submitted to staff for review and approval. Compliance with the mayor's executive order dated, of December 20th, December 2020, and subsequent resolution 23 of 2021 as adopted by the Common Council to provide 10% affordable housing, which is 5 units. Issuance of zoning variance to exceed building length under section 405-13A, parens 4. Conformance with exterior finish and landscape, which in parentheses hardscape. Matrices, yep, got that, all right. Identifying materials and colors as submitted under date of 04/04/2022. Conformance with all plans, documents, and specifications as defined in attachment A. Review documents dated September 15th, 2022, unless otherwise noted herein. Compliance with a SWIP dated February 2022. As-built drawings will be certified and provided to the planning office for all newly constructed and installed plan elements prior to any bond release or within 30 days of issuance of certificate of compliance. Submit copies of filed easement agreements. Proof of filings is required prior to issuance of any building permits. Blasting, should it become necessary to blast, materials at the site, the city's blasting ordinance will be adhered to. Section 4, the board finds that the anticipated increase in population as defined by creating 164 residential units, 80 dedicated for senior occupancy, and the balance for affordable mix, including family, shall cause a need for continued upkeep and improvements to park facilities which provide recreational opportunities to residents. Recognizing that the project does offer some green space and recreational areas, after reviewing the proposed parkland and considering the size of the development, the board concurs that this would result in an increase in program participation as well as high foot traffic at nearby parks and facilities, such as Forsyth and Barman Parks, Deet Stadium, and the Andretta Pool.
Such increases require strategic planning to meet the need of our residents and provide high quality of life experiences for all. Each impact, small or large, must be taken into consideration so we can best prepare for the future of our community spaces and offerings. The Recreation Trust Fund is utilized to help supply new playgrounds, pavilions, and amenities to contribute back to the city's parks and programs. It allows for our department to continue to grow its recreational opportunities to meet the community needs. The board acknowledges and finds that the recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Commission to impose the rec fee of $3,000 per unit, apart from the first 4 exempt units, to be placed into the Recreation Trust Fund should be upheld. Therefore, the board herewith finds that the payment in lieu of parkland fee of $480,000 be remitted prior to the issuance of any permits for construction. Section 5, accept the communication of Labella dated June 17th, 2022, attachment B, responding to the June 1st, 2022 review comments of the Ulster County Planning Board as satisfying the referral. Section 6, recognize the communication of Labella dated June 17th, 2022, attachment B, as satisfactory response to comments received from the City Conservation Action Commission. Advisory. Yeah, I got it. I've never had it abbreviated before in a resolution.
Sorry.
And requiring adherence to practices noted. Section 7, recognize statements of Kingston Fire Department Chief Chris Ray dated September 2nd, 2022, expressing satisfaction with the use of combination of system equipment and infrastructure. The complex has adequate accessibility and fire protection capability. And Section 8, approval of the board does not eliminate the need for obtaining the appropriate permits and approvals from the boards, from other boards, commissions, departments, and relevant agencies.
We're gonna
throw an and in there too. Section 9, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Would you have read that? Yes. Okay. At this time, I will make a motion that we adopt this resolution. Do I have a second? Second by Chuck Palaco. Wayne Platt is a yes.
Any discussion?
Oh, any discussion? Yeah, covered it. No discussion. Wayne Platt is a yes. Charles Palaco?
Yes.
Vincent Archer?
Yes.
Sage Newkirk?
Yes.
Okay, is adopted.
Motion carries.
All right. I'm getting all ready to take the drink.
I was wondering if you were going to take a sip.
You're right.
Yeah.
I turned it off, it's too loud.
What is the air conditioning?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to thank the board for all its efforts in terms of where we were and where we are today. We really appreciate it from the county's perspective. This has been a major initiative from the county, and I know that we were anxious to see the project move forward. Happy to see that the local board participating with us and allowing us to move forward. Second thing I would like to say is that we did begin starting the demolition of the jail. As of today, we're starting inside first. We're doing all our necessary asbestos testing. They're all watering up. So you won't see anything outside the jail until probably later at this month or the first week in October, where we'll start actually doing the demolition of the building.
Thank you for your kind words on that, and I appreciate, the county working with us on this as well. I appreciate all the efforts put forth by the applicants. I know it was kind of a lengthy process, and we've had a lot of public input. And I think that a lot of the concerns of this board were met. And I do appreciate the efforts again of the applicants to make and where we are now and getting this thing approved. So I look forward to this project moving forward, and can't wait for the final product to appear and see what it looks like. So, and Michael, thank you too. Thank you for all your efforts with family. So yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Have a good night.
Take care.
I mean, what?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was gonna stay and
But I think we got missed a few hands in there too, didn't we? You gotta put some hand. How do we keep messing up I gotta keep going on 6 and.
I know, I'm like,
because we used the same resolution.
do you know what? I mean, I think I read that resolution 100 times and I didn't pick up on that one.
We're coming up to you right now, Chuck. I know you're. Yeah, well, I gotta take a water break here. Yeah. Thank
night,
you.
Well.
Take care.
Do you want me to turn the air on now?
I'll tell you, table it.
We just won't be able to hear
Oh.
you.
All right.
Okay, let me get that back here.
So we're item number 17. This is under bond release. 300 Flatbush Avenue is a request for bond release. Section block and lot is 48.74-3-14.100, Zone R6, Ward 6. Rupco is the applicant. Landmark Place Housing Development is the owner. Let the record show that Chuck Snyder's here. Hello there.
Hey, nice to see everybody.
It's been a while, huh? All right, so the owners have submitted a letter requesting for
Final bond
for final bond release. And that amounts to $187,919. And staff, looks like.
Staff is recommending approval with the condition that we get the final sign off from the city engineer. I know that we had some maps that, as-built drawings that they requested, they were received. We just have not had the opportunity to get a statement from them that they are reviewed and approved. But once we have that, there's no reason to hold back on any of the funds.
Does the board concur with that?
Everything has been
Any
done.
questions from the board? All right.
People started moving in, yes, in the new building. I know that.
Oh, yeah. I hesitate to say it's fully occupied, but I think it is.
Good.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think it came out nice as well. Landscaping, perfect. Everybody's invited to the open house tomorrow, I believe, 10:30.
Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to make that, but I'll be making soap, so.
Okay.
All right, so at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve the bond release in the amount of $187,919, which reflects the balance that is left pending approval by the city engineer.
Correct.
That is a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Vince Archer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Okay.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you very much.
All right, pal.
We need to go back to 71 Furnace Street, please.
We got a table there?
No, I think we should
All right.
look at it.
Okay. Glad you marked that down because I forgot all about it. So, all right, this is back in
It's number 11.
item 11, which is under new business.
It is number
11. 71 Furnace Street, site plan to establish a restaurant. Section block and lot is 56.92-4-43. Secret determination, zone C3, Ward 4. Lyndon Peters is the applicant owner. The applicant owner is not here. Boy. Wow. So this is already up and running.
Yeah.
We
There's a
have
photo.
pictures of it here. Kyle, you told me that he's got somebody involved there who's got restaurant experience.
Yes, we did talk to we've talked to the owner.
Yeah.
The property's always been, well, for a long time, has been used as commercial storage, something associated with the carpet business. And we did have someone come into the office that's working with Lyndon. He is the cook. He worked for IBM for a number of years. I believe he worked for the hospital or some other major kind of corporation
Like
cooking.
Zabo, who maybe was part of the, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So, yeah.
So the pictures here are before and after. This isn't not an artist, this isn't a.
No, this is how it looks.
This is what it
The
looks
health
like. Okay.
department did issue a permit.
So
So he
big
has been in
improvement.
operation. The building department, I'm not sure how they were, I think they went for maybe a fire inspection or
Okay.
something and explained that he needed site plan approval.
Okay,
But he already has his health department permit.
all right. So a lot of this looks like it's just walk up or deliver, they do, did you say delivery?
I don't think they do deliveries. That was a question we had.
Okay.
I don't- You know, if they needed a space for like a delivery vehicle, but, and then we had question on, you know, where the refuse is.
Yeah.
I think we can maybe clear that up at staff level.
Yeah, is that really the only thing that jumps out for staff?
Yeah, I mean, it's there, it's quite incidental, it's not, we
Did
haven't
give us a
gotten any
menu.
complaints on it.
I don't see anything about delivery.
Okay, no complaints, you
So
said?
nothing. No.
All right. We need to talk about, we're not gonna bring this up.
No.
I'm not gonna bring that up. Okay. Okay, anybody have a question, questions from the board on this?
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Well, that's why they're gonna go there.
True.
You can't even go to the diner.
But that's, you know, I might hit that up on the way
Like
back.
legit, like the diner closes.
For
at
making
9.
so,
Really?
Yeah, the diner closes at 9 p.m.
Sad.
Even the one on Broadway?
Yeah.
Broadway
Usually,
Lights, yeah.
yeah, I think Broadway Lights even closes either 9 or 10 now.
You know what end of
There's
Furnace
nothing
Street it's
open.
on?
what's that?
You know what end of Furnace Street?
This is by,
I mean, I can't
The
tell you. I'm
Liberty
gonna
Street
need
side.
oxtail.
Yeah, towards Liberty,
Yeah, Center Street. that
Yeah,
way.
across the street is,
past the library.
So the fact that we have 2 restaurants in Kingston that now
Yeah,
serve like
yeah.
oxtail is
See,
just.
that's
it's
another
very
one.
much. It's just-
They're popular, they're good.
It is. I don't know who's eating oxtail at 11 o'clock at night, but that's okay.
Well, maybe they'll adjust their hours based on
They might.
volume.
There's only one on Prince Street. That's oxtail.
Yeah, there's the one behind,
Tuck-
it's right back here.
It's right back here on the
Yeah,
corner.
it's
That
like
one
right
is
back
busy,
there.
let me tell you
Yeah.
what, they're
He was
busy
on-
back
He was
there.
on the Food Network. He
Yeah.
was like some sort of like,
Yeah.
Our
James
guys-
Beard
the
Award.
Guys at Central Station love that place, you know?
it's good. I've eaten it.
Jerry Rutledge likes the curry chicken.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, so no other questions?
No.
Okay, so under seeker, it's a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. And this is, okay, so at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 11 with board policy 6
And 19,
and 19,
and that they maintain the Ulster County Health Department permit,
that too.
and that they just confirm how refuse and recyclables are handled with staff.
Okay. Good, sound good? All right, so that's a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Chuck Palaco. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Bill, are we gonna be a regular now with us here or what?
all right, wait a second.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to, you know.
What did I do with the, hang on a second. Hang on, wait a minute.
We've been through them all.
Hold on.
We signed the wrong
Okay,
one.
no, resolution, I used the wrong,
Can I make a motion to
attached.
adjourn?
No, hang on, I gotta send out another
Not yet, we gotta just hold on for a second.
approve, okay. Release.
What did you hear? Do we want to talk about this while we're still in the
No.
meeting or what?
With,
Yeah, I would wait. Whatever is
stand
going to come
by.
out of your mouth, I
Oh,
would
it's
wait.
got nothing to,
All right.
no, it
Yeah.
does have to do with us, maybe in the long run, but I'm pretty sure. It's, we'll wait till we shut it off, because you always want the
It's
water.
gonna be chock-a-block. Okay, so I need you to sign this one. Please?
Yep.
8:30. It's getting giggly.
Me too.
Yeah.
That was it?
Is it?
Okay, we'll do it now.
Yes, you
Slider
may.
girl, remember that from Match Game? Slider girl. I make a motion that we adjourn. Do I have a second? Second by Sage Newkirk. All in favor? Aye.
At
Opposed?
8:35.
Carrie, you got an eye on that too, right? Okay.
All right, stopping.
Everybody in the room is not.
Yes.
And if you're.
Yeah.